All right, today we're going to dig into the science of how we actually learn. You know why some things just seem to stick in your brain while other stuff, it's in one ear and out the other. We're going to explore the powerful, and I mean powerful connection between what you see and what you actually remember.
So does this ever happen to you? You're reading a book, you get to the bottom of the page, you pause, and you realize you have absolutely no idea what you just read. It's like the words just evaporated. It's super frustrating, right? Well, it turns out there's a real scientific reason for that feeling. And hey, it's not just you. The authors of the textbook we're using for this explainer, Visualizing Environmental Science, they call this out on like page 1. They know it's a huge roadblock to learning. It's a big sign that the information just isn't being delivered in a way that our brains are wired to handle.
So let's put a name to this, right? We're going to call it the I forgot problem. And it's something that cognitive scientists have been digging into for a long, long time. The official term for this is cognitive overload. Okay, think of your working memory, the part of your brain that's dealing with new stuff. Think of it like a small desk. Now, if someone just walks over and dumps a giant, messy pile of papers on it all at once, you can't sort through any of it, right? You're just paralyzed. That is cognitive overload. Nothing gets filed away in the cabinet, your long-term memory, and that's exactly why you can't remember what you just read. So how do we fix this? How do we neatly stack and organize that pile of papers so our brain can actually make sense of it? Well, the answer is surprisingly simple. We have to make it visual. Look at this. Imagine trying to understand how a whole river system works just by reading a dense wall of text. It's tough. Now, look at the diagram. In a single glance, you see the whole story. The headwaters up in the mountains, the winding meanders, the floodplain. It just clicks. It's instantly understandable, and that is the absolute key to remembering it later. And this slide right here, this is the main event. The research is totally clear on this. The best, most effective way to learn is by combining words and pictures. Scientists actually call this dual coding theory. The basic idea is that your brain has separate channels for processing what you read and what you see. So when you use both at the same time, you're creating two different paths to the same piece of information. It makes the memory way, way stronger. So why does this combo work so well? Let's break down what's actually happening inside your head when you're learning the right way. It's really just a three-step journey. First, new information lands on that small desk, your working memory. Second, a good visual acts like a perfect organizer. It tidies everything up, shows you how things are connected, and dramatically lowers that cognitive load. And finally, because everything is now so neat and orderly, your brain can successfully file it away into long-term memory. And just like that, it sticks. You know, our source material puts it perfectly. It's not just about the picture, it's the picture plus the explanation. When you get that combo right, a single image can do the work of pages and pages of text. It's all about working smarter with your brain, not harder. And yeah, this is pretty much the entire philosophy behind what we do here. We take complicated stuff and turn it into a clear, visual story. We're literally using the exact techniques we're talking about right now to help you learn about learning. Kind of meta, huh? Okay, so let's get practical. What are some of the actual tools in this visual learning toolkit? Let's look at a few really powerful examples pulled straight from our source. First up, you've got process diagrams. These are amazing for showing how something happens over time. Like here, you can instantly see the story of how moist air gets pushed up a mountain, cools down and rains, and then creates this dry rain shadow on the other side. A whole complex weather pattern becomes a simple, easy-to-follow comic strip. Next up, data visualization. Let's be honest, a long list of statistics is just mind-numbing. But when you organize that data into a clear table like this one, suddenly it's fascinating. You can compare things instantly. And some of this is pretty wild, right? Like your odds of dying in a car crash are about 1 in 84. From a lightning strike, almost 1 in 80,000. That kind of context makes data actually mean something. This third tool is all about making things feel real by using authentic contexts. You can talk about pollution as an abstract idea all day long, but when you see a powerful photo like this of real people cleaning up a real oil spill, it just hits differently. It connects the concept to the real world, and that makes it so much more memorable. And finally, something you might not think about, the authority of the source itself. The visuals in the textbook we're looking at, for instance, were made in partnership with the National Geographic Society. When you see a name like that, it brings a whole layer of trust and credibility, which just makes the visuals even more powerful. Okay, so let's bring this all home. This is all really interesting brain science, but so what? Why does getting better at learning complex topics like science actually matter? Because here's the bottom line. Learning effectively isn't just about passing a test. When it comes to huge, complicated challenges, like the ones in environmental science, truly understanding the problem is the absolute first step toward being able to solve it. An informed public is an empowered one. And this just shows the stakes perfectly. Visuals help us clearly see the problems we're up against, like deforestation. But just as important, they help us envision the scale of the solutions, like massive renewable energy farms. You have to see both to get the full picture and actually move toward action. So we'll leave you with this question. This whole explainer has been about using visuals to beat cognitive overload and just learn better. But the idea is so much bigger than that. If we can all get better at understanding our world, what else becomes possible? What complex problems are just sitting there, waiting for us to finally see them clearly enough to solve them?